Welcome back to some new malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter, but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. The first story is called Every Single Item. I work in a transportation facility, which requires me to go through a security checkpoint that inspects bags and such, and you have to go through a metal detector. They require us to remove any electronics or wires from our bags. Since I'm a technician, I carry a laptop and network cables in my bag, plus some small hand tools. I was told I can leave the hand tools in the bag, but the wires and electronics have to be taken out. Fine. So I've been doing this for months. Until yesterday. I go through as usual, unpacking my bag of the required items and putting them in the bin, and sending it through. I set my bag afterward. X-Ray says nothing, so I start reloading my bag. This is when X-Ray stops talking to her co-worker friends and realizes she has to work. They start going through my bag, pulling out everything I just put back in, telling me, this is supposed to come out and go in a bin. I did, you weren't paying attention. X-Ray then proceeds to tell me, anything metal has to come out, everything has to come out, fine. Today rolls around and the same person is running X-Ray. So I take all of my usual stuff out of my bag and put it in a bin. Then I start removing everything from my bag. Tissue pack? Check. Quick wipes? Check. Pants? Check. Candy wrapper from 3 days ago? Check. You get the point. Every single item I pulled from my bag. Meanwhile, X-Ray is getting testy and a line is forming behind me. X-Ray tells me I'm holding up the line. Sorry, you said everything. After my bins and empty bag go through the X-Ray and come out, I begin to repack everything while watching the line behind me. A guy is now doing the same thing I just did, pulling everything from his bag. You did tell that guy everything. I don't want to get in trouble. The next guy behind him started doing it as well. As I set my bag on the floor and began to walk away, I turned to X-Ray and said, you did say everything. Have a nice day. And left. I think I might go back through after lunch. This is a security checkpoint for employees of this transportation facility. It's a private security company and not any government transportation security, though most of them act as if they work for the government. The next story is called No Coverage Available. I work at a not-star hotel as the overnight audit shift. I'm one of only 2 people who work here that do the shift regularly. It is, understandably, hard to find coverage if you need to call out. I cannot tell you the number of times I've gone in sick or otherwise suboptimal because there was nobody else. Now, the shift isn't actually that difficult, but the hours are super late and it's not a great neighborhood. I've had to call the cops at least once a month since I started. Now, yesterday, I tweaked my back. I was and am in a decent amount of discomfort, and it actively hurts to move from sitting to standing, which is something my job requires a great deal of. I was hoping it'd be gone by today, so I didn't have to deal with the hassle of finding coverage, but it hadn't. So I text my boss that my back is hurt. Can I please get the day off? I have so much sick leave, because calling out is so hard. She says that's not possible, because nobody else can cover. I tell her if it gets worse, I might have to go to the doctor. She says great. Go do that, get some pain meds or something and come to work. Except doctors can't really do that. Sure, some are happy to give you a script and say get out, but others prefer to actually address the underlying issue. So on her suggestion, I go to the doctor. I tell him that my back hurts. It hurts to stand up. It's been like this for a couple of days and my boss won't let me call out tonight. I'm not looking for pain meds, cause I know back pain is a common excuse because it's easy to fake and hard to disprove. He goes, look, stay home for 2 days, lie down, ice it, take Ibu. Just don't move around a lot and don't go to work. So now I have a doctor's note saying to stay home for 2 days instead of my boss not even giving me one. Also, I'm in the US and I know the laws around calling out sick and doctor's notes for short periods of time. But my bosses do not or don't care. The third story is called Nepotism at its Finest. Karen was a manager of all the small departments like reception, security, stores, company records, IT, etc. What I know about Karen is this. She left school at 15 or 16 and worked in a supermarket. Got a job at our firm as a front desk receptionist for about 2 years before being promoted to the manager's role of small departments. She has some sort of relationship with one of the company's directors. unsure what the relationship is, and some speculate uncle or good family friend. She was the manager for 4 years in that role. Our company worksite has about 300 workers, 80 support staff. Karen is in charge of them, some technical departments and management. Karen, who is quite young and not very educated, runs the second biggest department. Lots of small departments. I was the union delegate, and one Friday around 4 PM, a bunch of staff come to me and tell me Karen is cutting weekend hours for the support staff in a money saving bid. I tell them not to worry, as they are all contracted to work 8 hours and the firm must pay you anyway. Come the weekend and chaos reigns. Support staff are only working 4 hours as instructed, and production grinds to a slow pace without the support staff. Monday morning at 9 AM, the union rings the general manager to ensure that staff will be paid for 8 hours, even though they were instructed to work 4 hours only. Apparently, the general manager was also flooded with complaints from the weekend managers about the lack of support staff causing production delays. Karen gets yelled at big time by the general manager. Karen, however, called the company director friend, who informs Karen by being yelled at that it breaches the firm's work safety rules. Karen lodges a complaint with HR. Karen is put on 6 weeks paid leave and the manager gets a warning. All the staff who worked 4 hours got paid 8 hours. The last story is called A Real Richard. Back around 1987, I was a courier on the afternoon shift from 11:30 AM to 8:30 PM. Dispatch cut off the calls at 6 PM, and after a 5-minute grace period you could clear and go home at 6:05 PM and get paid to 8:30 PM. My route had a highway down the middle, and the roads I covered on both sides had a lot of businesses. Those roads were busy with a 40 speed limit and lots of lights. My route got very busy, and I would often be at one end of the area and get calls at the last minute for the opposite end. The only way to make it work was to use the highway often and speed. Next to my area was another courier, we will call Richard. Richard would finish early and wait on the on-ramp of the highway at 5:50 PM daily, waiting to clear and go home early. As I got too busy, I got on the radio and asked Richard to help with 2 to 4 calls. And guess what? He refused. I ran to my manager, requesting help with my workload. Management informed me that there was no one that could help and I had to deal with it. When I informed him that Richard was right there and had quite a bit of free time, he still said it was my route and my problem. I am mad at this point and figure screw it. I will definitely figure it out. One of the key items at work was that the nightly line haul truck must leave on time at 8:30 PM sharp, or management hears from head office. The very next day I start my route and I do not use the highway and stick to the speed limit religiously. I roll in the first day at 9 PM on overtime, with the managers calling me every 5 minutes for an ETA. I have 3 managers waiting for me to explain and simply told them it was busy and went home. The next day the same results, so I keep this up for a week. After a full week of my tardiness, management is under pressure and they come to me to do better. I point out that there is a speed limit and maybe Richard could help. They tell me I should pick up the pace, speed, and at that point I said, no problem, put that in writing. They walked away deflated, hoping I would be back earlier. Nope, I did this another week, much to the utter dismay of the managers. At the end of the second week, the managers meet me again at the dock with a noticeable smugness about them. They informed me that as a group, they have come up with a solution. I listened as they explained how they did a route analysis and determined that Richard should get about 25% of my area to help out. The beauty was that I retained the best area and Richard got all the bad calls. Monday rolls around and they informed him of his new route and he is upset and vocal about it. The line haul truck is on time the rest of the week and Richard worked to 8:30 nightly. The new route was great and I enjoyed the reduced stress. Richard lasted for about another 2 months, then quit. Thanks for watching the video to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And if you have time, watch another one of my videos. And now, I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.